My family's winemaking tradition began back in France in the 1800s. My great-grandfather and his family was making wine outside of Lyon. My great-grandfather and his brothers came out to Texas during phylloxera. When phylloxera was devastating a lot of the European vineyards, they sold their vineyards and went out to Texas. And unfortunately, Texas wasn't a great place to grow grapes. However, they made a go at it, and that was about an hour outside of Houston. And then when Prohibition came in the US, they turned it into a cattle ranch. And my father grew up on that property, and I think he was always intrigued by the old vines, and there was still an old winery in the back with all the old wine equipment, but it hadn't been used for over 50, 60 years. Like most kids growing up on a farm, he wanted to leave, so he joined the Army, and his last assignment in the Army was out in California, and he just fell in love with Napa Valley. And so he's decided to restart the family tradition out there. In 1973, we bought 20 acres. We made a go at it. It proved viable. We kept buying neighboring properties, and now we have about 160 hectares, all contiguous. Our roots started as farmers. We sold most of our grapes to other wineries in Napa, and then in 1989, we started making wine from our own vineyards. And the reason for that is that we wanted to make single vineyard wines that were just from our vineyards. A lot of times when we were selling to the other bigger wineries, they would blend it from Calistoga to Canaras, and we just wanted to have the pure wines for our estate. Our wines are a little bit unique within Napa Valley because being in Canaras, with that coolness, they're almost kind of like Napa Valley meets the old world. We don't get the rich, opulent flavors that you get maybe from Rutherford or Oakville, but you get a freshness and a structure that a lot of people think lacks in California wines that you'll find in wines of Canaras and Truchard. So when we think about winemaking, we always think of ourselves as farmers first, and we think the most critical thing is the quality of the grapes. So when those grapes come into the winery, we try not to do much to take away from that quality or mask the flavors. So our philosophy is always less is more. We don't put a lot of oak on our wines. We are not looking for really high sugar levels or really high ripeness. We want to pick the grape when it's at its peak of ripeness and really fresh and vibrant. In California, there's a lot of new things happening. I think one of the most exciting things is the wine trends that are coming out of California now. For a long time, California has always thought bigger is better, but now the new generation of winemakers is really looking at purity and finesse in their wines and making wines that are maybe a little more strained, and those are personally the wines that I like to drink. So I think that's very exciting.